Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. People demand freedom of speech as compensation for the freedom of thought they seldom use. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about them not understanding me. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, especially the one you'll never have. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? Knowledge is a wealth that cannot be stolen. Once you label me, you negate me. To dare to lose one's footing momentarily, to not dare is to lose oneself. The tyrant dies, and his rule is over. The martyr dies, and his rule begins. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Many of us pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that we hurry right past it. It is so hard to believe because it is so hard to obey. Boredom is the root of all evil. It is the despairing refusal to be oneself. It is impossible to exist without passion. The self-assured believer is a greater sinner in the eyes of God than the troubled disbeliever. Leap of faith? Yes, but only after reflection. Why bother remembering a past that cannot be made into a present? On the secretly blushing cheek is reflected the glow of the heart. Happiness is the greatest hiding place for despair. It is very important in life to know when your cue comes. My sorrow is my castle. Take away the paradox from the thinker, and you have a professor. A no does not hide anything, but a yes very easily becomes a deception. Once you are born in this world, you're old enough to die. Hope is a passion for the possible. Cultivate the will. It is the armor that preserves the mind. Therefore, do not deceive yourself. Of all deceivers, fear most yourself. If you want to be loathsome to God, just run with the herd. My standpoint is armed neutrality. The only intelligent tactical response to life's horror is to laugh defiantly at it. To be lost in spiritlessness is the most terrible thing of all. What is youth? A dream. What is love? The dream's content. Don't forget to love yourself. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. It is better to get lost in the passion than to lose the passion. I would rather be a swineherd understood by the swine than a poet misunderstood by men. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. Sleeping is the height of genius, for it is not what happens to me that makes me great, but what I do with it. Faith is the highest passion in a human being. You become what you understand. Life has become a bitter drink to me, and yet it must be taken in drops, counted one by one. Be that self which one truly is. Faith begins precisely where thinking leaves off. I opened my eyes, saw the real world, and began to laugh. And I haven't stopped since. What distinguishes all love from lust is the fact that it bears an impression of eternity. The best response to criticism is to smile and let it go. The highest calling, after all, is not to comprehend the highest, but to live it. If you don't have many friends, it may simply mean you've lived deeply. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. To be human is not a fact, but a task. You don't find yourself by staring inward forever. You find yourself by stepping outward and seeing what you're willing to stand for. Comfort is a quiet thief. It doesn't steal your dreams all at once. It trades them for small, reasonable compromises. The future doesn't ask for your certainty, it only asks for your willingness to begin. Most people don't fear failure, they fear being seen trying. You can't outthink a path that only walking will reveal. Freedom isn't the absence of responsibility, it's the courage to choose which weight you'll carry. We spend so much time building walls to keep pain out, we forget to leave doors open for joy. A life measured only by productivity is a life that forgot how to breathe. Truth doesn't need your defense, it only needs your attention. The bravest thing you'll ever do is trust yourself on a day you feel completely unqualified. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next honest step. Silence isn't emptiness. It's where the mind finally stops performing and starts listening. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you awaken in others while you're still here. Don't confuse motion with progress. Sometimes standing still is the only way to recalibrate your compass. The world rewards loud certainty, but it survives on quiet courage.